Alright, hello. So, this is going to be an affirmation video. Um, I have about 5 pages of affirmations that I wrote. I'd say about 95% of these are ones that came from my own head. A couple were some that I'd heard from the internet, but most are ones that I just thought needed to be said. So, the format of this video, so to speak, is I will be going back and forth between soft-spoken and whispered every other page. So I'll do soft-spoken for the first page, whispered for the second, so on and so forth. After each affirmation, I'll pause just to let it sink in for a minute, and then I'll move on to the next one. So, without further ado, here we go. You are and you have enough. You are safe, you are in control, you can manage your reactions. Listen. Really listen. Do you hear it? It's the sound of silence. It constantly surrounds you. Listen for the pause between each sound, the rests in the musical rhythm of life. Everything comes from nothing and returns to nothing eventually. Take a deep breath and let yourself experience the silence. It's going to be okay. I have complete faith in you that you'll get through it. I'm always here if you need someone to talk to, vent to, scream to, cry to. You'll be okay, I promise. It's all gonna work out. You just have to get through, my friend. Your differences are what make you unique. Some people will love you for them. Some people will hate you for them. But it doesn't matter so long as you are comfortable with yourself. You can't please everyone. Do what is right for you. Just don't be a jerk about it, to put it bluntly. You are loved by more people than you know. Your community will always be there for you. While you're facing the darkness before you, they're all standing behind you. In this way, you're never truly alone. You are perfectly imperfect. You are the absolute best at being you. No one can be you better than you can. Your past does not define who you are. You are not your trauma. You are not your illnesses. You are not the embodiment of failure. You are you, and that is beautiful. You have the capacity to do great things if you set your mind to it. You are not stuck in cyclical mediocrity. You can and will improve, and I'm proud of you for everything you've already accomplished. You are not the person you once were, and that is completely okay. Take care of your past self, for they always live inside of you. They need your guidance, your comfort, your wisdom. Do not scold them, even for their mistakes. They are the one who brought you to this very moment. Thank them for their hard work, perseverance, and strength. They did it all for you. So that's the end of page 1. We'll move on to page 2, and this will be whispered. You do not need to prove your worth to others, particularly me. I'm confident in my belief that you are a human being with strong person in the room who thinks that way. You are valid in your identity, even and particularly when it changes. Labels are what you make of them. You can choose to go label-free so that you are not confined by the invisible box and unchanging definition of it. You can choose to identify with a label to find a community with whom you truly belong. The decision is yours and yours alone. You are worth it. Others' opinions of you do not change your value as a person. You are still valuable regardless of what others think. Please don't let a fear of failure hold you back from trying new things, being creative, going out of your comfort zone. The way I see it is if you are so afraid of failure that you are holding yourself back, you are inherently failing yourself. You aren't allowing yourself to go after what you truly desire. Hence, you are failing in this way. However, don't feel like you're destined to fail no matter what you do. This is the opposite of what's true. Anything you do is better than nothing, so take the leap, see what happens. You'll be all the stronger for it. You are allowed to miss them. You can, you will, and you know how. Your interests are not weird, cringy, or stupid. They are beautiful, and they are what makes you whole. Don't ever be ashamed of what you like. There's always someone else in the same boat as you. Try to be in the moment as much as you can. The present is all you have. Make sure you are here to experience it. Don't let yourself get caught up in the past or the future, for they do not exist. If you find yourself in a situation where you are uncomfortable, do one of three things. Try to change your situation, change your perception of the situation, or leave the situation. You are not indefinitely tied to your mistakes. While they may creep into your mind at inopportune times, they are not what define you as a person. That's the end of page 2. Now we'll go on to page 3. Hurting people is a natural and unavoidable aspect of life. It is natural to feel guilt, but please don't let this hold you down. I need to cough 1 second. Relax, my friend. Relax. Ease the tension that follows you. You're doing so well, and I'm proud of you. I really, truly, honestly am. Remember to rejoice in the progress you've made. Take moments out of your day to think about how far you've come. It's easy to get caught up in the stresses of everyday life, but it is essential to take a step back and look at the big picture of your life. Macro view, as my therapist likes to call it. Take a deep breath. You're already there. There's no race to the finish line because there is no finish line. You don't have to scramble to prove your worth, to get there, to be valid. You're already there. I like this next one. Stability is not the lack of change. Rather, it is the acceptance that change is the only constant in life. I'm proud of that one. The way you express your gender, sexuality, and your overall being is perfect. It's exactly you, and you need not change a thing. I will always try my best to understand where you're coming from, even if it's not immediately obvious. I'll always try to be either empathetic or sympathetic, depending on the situation. Honesty is your best friend. If you're honest, you don't have to constantly look over your shoulder for someone who might catch you. You can walk with your head held high and your gaze on the horizon. People are always going to care about you. I mean that in two ways. The first, there will always be people who care about you. The second, people who have been hurt by you, loved by you, lost or forgotten, still care about you. My mom's up. Nothing else. Just Jesus loves you. I'm sorry it made me laugh when I wrote it. It's okay if you're not the person you thought you would be. They can't hurt you anymore. Not if you don't let them. It's the end of page 3. Now we'll move on to page 4. You don't have to forgive those who have truly hurt you if you don't want to. I haven't forgiven my dad, and I don't believe I ever will. It's allowed. Just don't let it hold you back. You'll feel it again. My friend, you are a child of the universe. The moon and stars look upon you with tender smiles and loving gazes. You are as beautiful as the swirling galaxies, vibrant nebulas, and collapsing stars. You belong here. Ain't nothing gonna break your stride. Ain't nothing gonna slow you down. Oh no, you got to keep on moving. I'm sorry. You are allowed to be different from who or what your parents think you should be. You don't have to impress them or conform to their ideals. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel. Just try not to let this hinder your ability to stay present. Emotional regulation is not the same as suppression. Suppression means you are prohibiting yourself from feeling your emotions at all, while regulation means that you are still feeling your emotions, but you are not letting them define your whole imperfect being. I do not hate you. There will always be people who do, but you can't control that. Even when it feels like everyone is pitted against you, just know that I'm here, okay? Every decision you make, everything you do, has some sort of reaction associated with it, whether it be positive, negative, or neither. Well, somewhere in between. This is not meant to scare you into isolation or a fear of branching out, but just know that you are responsible for the things you say and do. This will help you stay more level-headed. take responsibility for the times you fucked up. In other words, don't make excuses. I tried making excuses for a while, but it only makes the situation worse for yourself and everyone around you. The more you're able to own up to your mistakes, the more people will be willing to forgive you and move past any rash decisions you have made in the past. Stay true to who you are, especially in times of adversity. Killing yourself does not end the pain. It only passes it on to someone else, the people who love and care about you. All things can and must pass. Like I said before, change is the only constant in life. Well, this means that the good times will come to a temporary end. The bad times must also come to a temporary end. There's no way for the good or the bad to last forever. There will always be a combination of both at all times. Any given moment in time is neither wholly good nor wholly bad. Both can and will exist simultaneously. It's just a matter of looking for the good when all you can see is the bad. Alright, that's the end of page 4. And now, moving on to page 5, final and last page. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You are not alone, my friend, and you never will be. Take pride in the little things you accomplish throughout the day. Be genuinely proud of yourself for getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, finishing a homework assignment, talking about your struggles. Anything you actively do to help yourself can and should be praised. If you can't do it yourself, let me know and I'll be your fan in the stands cheering you on. You're gonna be okay. You're not a burden for needing help. Like I've said, I'll let you know if it gets to be too much for me to handle on my own. Listen to me. You're not a burden, okay? Don't be sorry for roping me into this. I chose to be part of your life because I genuinely saw potential in you. I could just as easily walk out of your life, but notice how I'm not doing that? I'm not leaving despite seeing you at your metaphorical worst. I'm not going anywhere. Trust me on that. You deserve to take up space. Remember to be patient with yourself. You're human. You're destined to make mistakes. You'll take steps forward, but you'll also take steps backward. Progress is not a linear path. You're going to feel like you're going in circles, but you're really not. Think of it like a spiral. While you may be in a similar place to where you were before, seeing and experiencing the same things, you're not on the same line you were on before. You're slightly further out, slightly closer to your goal. If that doesn't make sense, think of it this way. Picture walking along a circle versus a spiral. For a circle, you're always returning to the same spot every time you circle around. This is what it feels like in terms of your progress. However, picture walking around a spiral. You're going to see the same sights. You'll see the line you just created, but you're not in the same place you were before. You are loved. And with that, that's all the affirmations. I hope you enjoyed. This was longer than I expected it was going to be. But yeah, hope you enjoyed.